Wanted to show you under this overhead cam what it come out like. They come out alright.
What have we got then, Simon?
Right, so what have we got? We got the secret passages. Hello everybody, welcome back to the Battle Lounge, home of the ClickyWalls. And in this video we're going to be painting up the little secret passages that come in the Secret Chambers build set, which is all part of the underkeep. We haven't got all of it here. I think we've got at least one of each. So we got like the T sections, the cross sections,
bookcases.
We got the elbow, yeah, bookcases, and a few of the other little bits like the fountains and things like that. We're probably not going to get all that painted today. We're just going to do a couple of the passages. And obviously you can paint them up however you like, but in this video we're just going to be going through the way that we paint them up. And we like to paint them up the same as all our underkeep walls so that there's that continuity throughout. So the first thing we do is a little bit of black paint. As I've said before in my other painting tutorials, we don't use miniature paints because you just use so much of it. Oh God, I put too much in there now. Let's see what it looks like. Might be alright. Trouble is, if it's too watery, it doesn't sit in the little cracks nicely. Yeah, it's just sitting on the surface and dripping everywhere. So I'm going to start again. It's because I had a great big pot and I was reaching over. So we just want a little bit of water, splodge of black paint. And these are acrylic paints, just like your little miniature paints, but they don't have as much pigment in them. You need a lot more paint to be able to get the same sort of coverage that you get with your little mini paints. So we're watering it down a little bit because we don't need it to be completely black. I mean, you could. I always print off in grey, and the reason I print off in grey is because that's just what I got in my machine, and I print so much. My printers are going literally 24/7 because I'm doing test prints and everything, and I don't want to mess around, keep changing the colour of the filament. And I just buy it in bulk, so I just buy loads of grey. And in my AMS, I usually have 2 or 3 greys in there, so when one grey runs out, the next one just kicks in and carries on printing. But ideally, this would be printed in black, then you wouldn't have to put the black wash on, and then you would just go straight to the dry brushing. You don't really have to worry about priming and all that. I mean, some people do. If you're a pro, you might want to, but to be honest, I get just as good results just lashing it straight on top. When you're spending 9 hours painting one little miniature, you do not want that chipping off and scratching and putting all that little detail in. But when you're printing something big like this, if you got scratched, you wouldn't even notice, especially the way I paint. So that's all we're going to do. We're just going to lash the paint on, and the coverage isn't important. It doesn't need to cover every bit, but what you do want is you want to get the black into all the little cracks. And the reason for that is when you dry brush it grey, all that's going to be left is the black inside the little cracks. So it's just creating those shadows and it's making everything look nice and dark. This is the really watery one. It's starting to dry now. It actually doesn't look that bad. I might leave that and see what that looks like. That's better. So I've got this, I don't know if you can see this in camera, so when I put it on, you can see it sort of flowing into the cracks, but it's not completely solid like this one's not flowing at all. It's just very black, that one. So we're in the apple shack today. It's an absolutely scorching day, so we was going to sit outside and do some painting, but it was just too hot. So we're in our apple shack. An apple shack is it's a little shed, really, what I built. We didn't buy a kit or anything. I literally just built it, put a little concrete base down. Great little building.
Oh, it's brilliant.
It's just like a little retreat. Little fire pit outside. In here we've got 2 bench seats, which Flower made out of polystyrene, not out of polystyrene, out of foam. I've been watching a lot of phone building.
And then
Videos.
we covered it, didn't we, together, stapled it, the faux leather, bit of wooden backing. Yeah, it's great.
And we've got loads of little twinkly lights in here, and it's lovely in the evening when it starts getting dark. All the little lights are twinkling away. But it's nice to have a little place like this where we can just come in here and make a mess if we want to. And if we want to leave it all out, we can. So for those of you who've not seen the secret chambers, it's not been released to the public yet. The only people that have access to it are members of the Underkeep, Masons of the Underkeep. It's got some really cool little secret passages, so that's what these are. These are really good when you're playing D&D. You don't have to have the whole table set up every time, and with these they're really good because you can just chuck them down as you're playing, and as the players are moving through the passages, they're discovering it, so that you can then lay it out. So I would normally have a plan made up of all the different passages, so I know what the layout looks like. I usually just sketch it down on a bit of paper in my Remarkable, something like that, just so I know what I'm doing. And then as the players are moving through, you can then just lay down whatever is in their line of sight. And it works really well because it just adds that little bit of mystery. And they're discovering it as they're playing. This is a cool one because it's got like a little pop-out tile. And it's got a little cross on it. So it's like, you don't notice that it's there, but the cross just looks like a little crack in the tile. Because it's a secret chambers, it could be a hidden stash of something in there, or it could even be a way down into another little passageway or something like that. Normally when you're playing D&D, you're setting up the table. It's just, whatever you're using, and then the players say, oh, I'm going to investigate, or I'm going to have a little look around, or whatever, and it's like, oh yeah, there's a chest in the corner. And there might be a chest, so then they might go, I'll go and have a look at the chest. But you wouldn't typically have a trapdoor that is hidden from the players, but is actually there in plain sight. And there's lots of little things like that. There might be a little bit of a crumbling wall, like on the guardhouse towers, or there might be a little sewage entrance point, like there is on the guardhouse towers. But that sewage point is actually very small. It's like by the time you've put the flooring in, it's only a few millimetres high. So if they don't actually see it with their real eyes, not their character eyes, they might not think to look for it or to investigate it. This one, this just slots into a normal insert wall, so it just slots down. And I've done it completely flat, almost like it's a frame. So you could put anything in here. You just use your imagination. When I was making it, all I had an idea of maybe putting like an old painting. So print something off on the printer and then just like glue it in, paint the frame up. It almost just looks like a big old oil painting. And then the secret wall or the secret entrance is then behind the painting. Shh. But I'd imagine, there's a lot of ways that you can actually use that. If you think of any ideas, just put it in the...
Oh, cuckoo. Lots of different noises when we're out here.
Excuse me, yeah, the chickens will be squawking in a minute.
Yeah, chickens and the dog.
Forgot what I was saying now. Yes, no, I was saying about this. If you guys have got any ideas of what you could turn that into, let everyone know in the comments. So, where are we? He's got a lizard on my shoulder. He's out to enjoy the sunshine as well. This is Pebbles. Where are you going, Pebbles? There he is. Say hello to the camera. Don't eat my nuts. He's all energetic because he's
been charged up by the sun.
Yeah.
I'm going to put him away.
Right, so for the dry brushing, I lash it on quite thick. So I'm using a nice big fluffy brush. So you can see it's all sort of splodgy like that. and then it's like a wet dry brush over it.
It's quite a dark grey, isn't it, this?
Yeah.
It's quite good though. I like it.
Yeah, it looks good. And then I think I'll just do a few little highlights with white on.
It's quite good that brush actually, isn't it? I'm going to use one like that.
It's got this big fluffy one. Yeah, especially for these big pieces, because it's just gets it on there nice and quick.
But also it covers it a bit more gently.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just a softer finish. You don't get this scratchy paintbrush marks. Right, so we painted in black, and now we're painting it back grey again. So we're back where we started. So with the white one, we'll be a little bit more gentle, so not quite as much paint on. And we'll just tickle it. I don't want full coverage, just some areas. Oh, there it is again.
It's been an hour. Wow.
Right, so there we go. And that's it for a basic paint job. I've painted it brown. While it's still brown, I've painted this grey and I've blended the grey into the brown. And so you end up with a bit of the brown, so you got a browny grey, and then it sort of blends in quite well. It doesn't look too sort of oversaturated. So something like this bright blue, if I was going to paint something blue on there, I'd sort of mix it in with the brown a little bit. So it's got a little bit of hint of blue, that one's got a little hint of grey to it. Now obviously we was both doing them, so they're always going to be a little bit different when two people are painting the same thing, just because you have a slightly different technique. Yeah, they come out alright. What I'd normally do is just paint a black on the bottom, and I like to go over these top bits in black as well, just it makes them look more finished. These have come out, and I've just brought this in just to show you. So this is not painted, this is just like, it's the same colour grey, so they're still grey, but just having that little bit of paint on there, I think it just really helps pick out the detail and make them look a little bit nicer on the board as well. These are great pieces for building a quick little dungeon as well. A couple of good things about them is obviously the scales to ClickyWalls, so each one of these represents your movement. It'd be like 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 if you're moving 30. And the other thing, like the walls are really thin and the floors are really thin as you can get them really, and still have structural stability. And it just means that you use less filament, they're a lot lighter, and which just obviously makes them nice and cheap to print. And so you can just print out loads of them. We did this little fireplace as well, so that's printed up. Obviously I would then pick out the detail and I'd put black inside so it will look like soot and etc. This one I haven't actually done the top of the chimney yet, so I'm just going to continue, but I'll do that at a later date and then just drop it in. Nice little chimney that, with a little secret entrance. That's how these work as well. So if this was in a building, again, this would slot into your normal wall, which I've got one in my drawer here. So that just slots into there like that, and then that becomes part of your build. And then if your players do figure out that this is a secret, then you would open it up and then you'd put that on, and then they'd maybe be able to see to there. This is what I was talking about earlier with the line of sight. That's as much as they'd see. And then when they come up to this point, then you'd then start putting on your other bits that they can see. That's it for this video, guys. If you liked it, give us a thumbs up. Cheers. Bye.